Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we're going to do a few modifications / upgrades to our Honda CRF 300L. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install a rear rack on the fender so we can carry luggage, maybe even a Rotopax gas can, stuff like that. And then also we're going to upgrade the levers up front, the brake and the clutch lever to something, a 3-finger style lever that has breakaway capabilities, and it looks way better than the factory one. So stick around, let's jump into the video. Alright, so the rack that we're going to install, this one's from Kemimoto, and what you're going to get is pretty decent set of instructions, but this is a fairly easy install. Here's your hardware. It looks to be all stainless steel hardware, so you got washers and then some spacers that we're going to use. Now, taking a look at the rack, the welds, everything looked pretty good. It is steel, so it's going to be a little bit heavier than some of the aluminum or plastic ones, but you know, not bad. The coating looks really good, and you're going to get several different options you can do with this rack. There's plenty of different holes. Like right here, you could mount a Rotopax mount. 1 gallon container I think would fit really nice there, and then plenty of strapping points on the rack as well as these legs here on the front. I think will be great grab handles to pick up the bike when you lean it over. All right, so the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take a 6mm hex key and we're going to remove these factory fasteners. That basically, they're just strap points, but we're going to remove them. It holds the seat on, so we're going to get these pulled out, and then we will repeat this process on both sides. Now, one thing to keep in mind, we're going to reuse the factory, don't drop them like I did, the factory spacers in there. So there's one on the rear and one on the front. Black's on the rear, the silver one is on the front. So we'll get these pulled out, and then we'll set those aside, and we're going to reuse them. I'm going to go ahead and start on the front using the shorter bolts in the kit with the washer, and then reusing our factory spacers there. I'm going to leave everything just kind of loose, just hand tight for now, so I can move the rack up and down and install the rear hardware with the spacers. So now I just installed the rear hardware, and the spacers are a little bit tricky, but it's doable. Getting everything tightened up now, and I'm working my way around the rack, side to side and front to back, because the brackets, they are spread out a little bit. So as you tighten it, the brackets from the rack will cinch up to the fender and to the back of the seat. And the other reason I'm doing this is to make sure everything stays centered up, so the rack stays centered, so it doesn't get off to one side. I wanted to make sure that those brackets come in the same distance from each other. That is going to wrap up the rear rack. So now let's get moving to the front of the bike and work on those hand levers. Alright guys, if you made it this far in the video, we're going to get on the hand levers next, but I just wanted to take a moment to thank everyone who supported us, all the people that sponsored us with different things to try out. But you know, if you would, and you want to stay in tune with all of our family's adventures, from ATVs, 4-wheelers, dirt bikes, adventure riding, camping, all that kind of stuff, please consider subscribing to the channel. We'd really appreciate it very much, and it helps keep us motivated to keep creating content just like this. So thank you. So let's jump into these hand levers. I'm sorry. These are from MZS Tuning. They're on Amazon. They're some very budget-friendly levers. So let's open the box up, and you know, I looked at the Zeta levers. Those seem to be very popular. They're about $100 more than these levers, and I looked at several pictures, different videos, and guys, I'm here to tell you, I cannot tell the difference between these levers and the Zeta levers. They look to be identical. Now, that's for you to make your own decision. If you want to pay the extra $100 for Zeta engraving, that's fine. But I'm here to tell you, these levers are very well made. The finish, it just looks fantastic, and the install looks very simple. As you can see, they are made to really, they appear to be made just for the CRF, but I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they're somewhat universal. But let's jump into the install. So the install on the brake side, real simple. You've got your 10 millimeter on top, a 10 millimeter retaining nut on the bottom. So we're just going to remove these, pull the pin out, and then basically the lever is going to come right off. So now we're going to go ahead and get the brake lever installed just to make sure that everything lines up. Always apply just a little bit of grease to the top and bottom and the pin that goes down through, just to keep that moving freely. And then just double check, make sure your plunger's hitting, everything, your brake light is still working, and you're good to go. Now these you can adjust forward and back with a little lock nut and jam nut there on the front of the lever. But I just kind of left it all the way in because I got a little bit shorter finger, so I wanted not as much reach. But that's pretty much it. Tighten up the pin up top and the locking nut on the bottom, and you are good to go. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to just check my clutch lever and see how much pull I'm actually getting, so in case I have to adjust the cable once I install the new lever. Now working on the clutch side, I found it was easier to go ahead and remove my handguard off my handlebars, so I had better access to the clutch lever, because you have to unhook the cable on this side as well. So I've already removed the pin out of the lever. It's the same as the brake side, 10 millimeter on the pin, 10 millimeter on the retaining nut at the bottom. So all I'm doing now is I think I can just remove this cable without adjusting it. So I've just flipped the lever upside down, and I'm going to work the pin on the cable away from the lever. So as you can see, it come off real easy. So I'm hoping the new lever will install just as easy as the old one come off. All right, so all I'm doing here is I'm putting the factory cable in to the new clutch lever, and it went in relatively easy. Again, like, there was nothing I had to adjust there. I didn't lengthen the cable. I just installed it as is. The only change that I made on the lever after I get it installed here, go ahead and put your pin in with your 10 millimeter, put your locking nut on the bottom. I ended up adjusting the lever out just a little bit. It was pretty close to the grip, so I just unthreaded the adjustment shaft there, locked down the jam nut, and was very happy with the pull and everything. I am running aftermarket grip, so I just trimmed a little bit on the grip just so it wasn't smashing the grip when I pulled the clutch in. And I didn't have any other adjustments to make other than that. No cable adjustment, no clutch adjustment. Everything went on just as easy as the factory ones come on.